Sounds like we're live, so why don't we get started? Hello, I am David from PhotoPixel, and I started this stream a bit late. I'm working on Family Tree, little puzzle game, and last time I was working on a tutorial system, and I'm just going to keep on with that, basically. And since it's going to be a bit of a shorter stream, let's get straight into it. I have loaded up Unity, but I haven't opened any scripts yet. Let's just pop open that tutorial text. That is the prefab, not a script. What am I doing? It'll probably be somewhere in this scripts directory, hey, in tutorial system. So yeah, got a few things going on here. So last time I got this simple arrow made out of a line with some points. Well, that was basically already made, but I got it able to be positioned properly for the tutorials, which are basically just text and arrows on the screen for a particular level at the moment. Let's do that. There we go. One day I'll get this thing sorted out so it has consistent line endings, consistent line ending styles. But I don't know if this is the day for that. I mean, definitely not. What am I doing? I meant to just not pin that, but I've closed it instead. Okay, let me just fix up a... Oh. Let me just fix up something here. That wasn't working. Get that working again. And just get some notes going here. What is it today? The 6th. Stream 27, based on whenever I started counting. All right, so apparently we're reloading the domain here, probably because the line endings change triggered something. Yeah, so right now I've got a test button, which if I just wait for Unity to finish doing what it's doing, this big test button here is just a temporary thing I can press that will trigger a page text updater test tutorial level, and that page text updater, is that on here? Yes, it is. It's on this page canvas, which is a canvas that's in world space, just on the bounds of the book just there. So what I have is tutorial levels, scriptable objects that describe text with a position and location, and can now describe arrows with a position as well. So if I get this arrow line just deleted because I don't need it, and get the game running, that level 1 now has text with an arrow, which isn't the whole thing, but it's getting close. All right, we have the music, not up too loud, good. So basically, this is what I have in the tutorial system so far. And I can get that to do, not 10, just index 1. I've got that one defined as well in an array, so that button, and it's just got testing multiple bits of text, so not much to it there. Let's put that back to index 0, test that. So that's fine as far as it goes. Got arrows working. I've got 2 more things to do in there. So those levels are made up of a tree and some loose photos that that correlate to positions in the tree. And yeah, so basically another thing I want to be able to specify in this tutorial level object is an actual tree, which could be a little interesting, mainly in how do I edit that tree in a way that is not going to be too much overhead, keeping in mind that it's okay if it's a bit clunky because it's really just to put together a small number of tutorial levels, not I'm going to be doing hundreds of levels here, so it doesn't have to be a really robust level builder. So let me think about that for a moment. I've got a family tree manager. This might be an okay place to start, just because it happens to be a file that's open. We've got some tree positioning settings. So here we go. So we've got person data. So a person data has all of the attributes of a person in it. Do I want to go this way? No, that way apparently. I think this has been turned around a bit. Fix that. Yeah, so I've got a person data, and these are used in the tree to represent the tree. And then there are slots and person. So person is the name of those photos because it started out as merging actual people together before I changed it. But I think this person data is relevant. How do I reopen that project view? View. Maybe in window. I don't use Visual Studio like all the time. I was using Rider before, and been using VS Code for my day job. So is it a tool? Okay, stuff about tabs and what have you. Reset window layout. Yes. Yeah, there we go. I haven't customized it particularly, so that gets that back. Right, so what have we got here? Got the level system with the level generator. Got the person node here. So basically, a tree is just made up of a bunch of nodes, and actually, that level generator might be a good place to show that. So I've got generate level and generate people tree is probably the biggest thing. So we're generating a tree that has a certain number of generations and a certain number of empty slots. And that'll basically have slots from the left-hand side of the tree be emptied at the moment. So this is all the code that generates that tree. Just need to unpin that, not close it like before. So we've got something to compute how many slots there'll be in each in the oldest generation. So I know how many to start with, and I'm essentially just generating the oldest generation and then combining pairs of people to generate the next generation. So that's that. So yeah, this is the create random person thing. But yeah, I think for one thing, I probably want to start with a person node, because that's what's being returned when you generate the people tree, and that's what's being returned by generate level. So let me close the things I'm not particularly using right now. Which is a lot of things. Have I got 2 copies of tutorial level? Okay, I think that's the current one, and the other one might be a copy I had open before I'd moved it, and now I can't find it. Okay, shouldn't need most of these things here. I got a lot of tabs open. Slot type is relevant. I might leave that open just in case. Yeah, cool. Music, volume. Okay. So, I've basically got some tutorial text elements here, and I've got a tutorial arrow. But I probably also want, let me just naively do this, knowing that probably it's going to have trouble displaying that here in the inspector. But this is going to be the tree. What do we got? Oh, sorry, these are my definitions for structs. What am I doing? I don't need to define that. It's already defined. I need to go up here. Tree or tree constraints. So the other option here is to just put some specific constraints for the tree. So still generate the tree similar to how the levels generate them, but just have limitations, like say, not allowed to have bald people, or hair length has to be, or probably, I guess it'd be for each trait, maybe just feeding in a list of what's valid or a list of what's not valid for generating that tree, and what size of tree and how many empty slots. So that's what I might end up doing if I can't find an easy way to fill in a tree here, because I've just updated the definition for these scriptable objects to have an extra thing in there, which is a person node, but I haven't necessarily done anything that would let it display that. So it's not even showing up there at this point. Let me just have a look here. So these are not serializable at this point. They're also not structs. So they have a person data, which is a struct. And then they have some references to some other person data. Some other person nodes for the parents. Interesting. There may be a way that I can describe a tree without it being the tree initially, by just having a flat array of nodes that just refer to other nodes, or maybe that just describe the base of the tree and then each generation of the tree laid out in order, or something like that, where it would be easy to reconstruct the tree from it. Not the greatest to work with as far as setting it up, but it might work. So I wonder if making this serializable would would work. Would that help for that to be able to be displayed? But it's one thing to display it, it's another thing for it to actually be editable. It looks like, yes, we do have a tree now. What does that look like in the inspector? We basically just have a slot type. So why is that? So we can't have a person data. We can have a slot type. Maybe because that's just an enum value. I think person data should be potentially supported. Let me just try that. Do a person data array. People, just see what that ends up looking like. Because this doesn't have to be sophisticated. I'm sure I could make it sophisticated if I wanted to waste a bunch of time on it. I say waste. If I wanted to spend a bunch of time on it, I could make it more sophisticated, but I do need to resist the urge to do so because it's really not very necessary. Okay, so person data is not showing up at all. And that's not surprising because I think, again, this just needs to be serializable. And then that might get me person data, and it might get it in this tree as well. Just playing around to see what works at this point. Just clicking there has deselected that. So yeah, I do actually have person data, and I can choose the hair color, hair texture, hair length, skin color, and the slot type. So that's actually really good. The only thing that I am not able to do yet there is define the parents. So back to, let me put tutorial level at the left here because that's the thing I'm working on. So back to person node. That's serializable. So I guess recursive data structures maybe aren't very supported in being displayed. Let me just pop open a browser somewhere and okay, so maybe this question here is a little related. I'll find out. Unity's default serialization is by values. It does not support recursive serialization. If you want to serialize a reference so that cyclic references are supported, you need to use the serialize reference attribute. Although I believe that data being deserialized needs to be structured in the same way Unity manages serialized reference fields. Best to refer to the docs and play around with it to see how the data is structured. Okay, and what does this person recommend? Joshua McKenzie says the simplest solution is to not serialize the field itself, but instead serialize our identifier as a placeholder for the field. So that's like what I was talking about, having the parents referred to just by their index within the array. When the code is running, it can then do a lookup, cache the right area data, because that's the type they're trying to serialize. Okay, yeah, so there's some stuff I can do there. All right. Not serialize the field itself. Non-serialized attribute. Okay, where is... So we got serialized field. So there's this non-serialized attribute for area data. So basically, yeah, they've got an on before serialize and on after deserialize. That will so essentially they're not serializing the reference type. And that's, I guess, the problem here is that because person node is a class, it is by reference. And so it's not serializing them because they're reference types. Whereas if they were structs, then it would they'd be by value and it would serialize them, I'm guessing. But yeah, basically each of these has an ID. So they're keeping these serialized with an ID, and then things that have references to them, they're basically telling it to just grab the ID of that before it serializes it, and then when you deserialize, you can put them back together again. I think I won't do that. So I think I will do some kind of putting back together. But I think what I'll do essentially is just have an itchy ear, don't mind me. Yeah, I think I might have a bunch of these person nodes. Actually, I was about to say I'll just have a bunch of person nodes in an array and treat the first one as the base of the tree, and then you just have to have an appropriate number, or it'll just build up the tree from the base and combine and yeah, just put one in the first generation, and then the second and third go in the next generation, and so on until it runs out. And then that way I can have the slot type generated. So I can have it as, okay, so there are different slot types here. There's the known type, that's what the base of the tree is at the moment. Hidden isn't being used at the moment, but it's like intermediate one that's only shown if you get both of its parents into the slot, and then you can actually see what's there. I stopped using that because it didn't really make sense for the scenario where this is an album that the photos have slipped out of that you're putting back together. So I think it would be good to have the slot type, because that would basically just say which empty or known. A known slot means the photo's in there. Empty means that the photo's out of the slot to start with. So then I just need one more thing, which would be a way to position those photos from the tree. And it'll be a little clunky, but I just need to be able to cobble together 5 to 10 tutorial levels out of this, so not that big a deal. So I think these are already not serialized, but it might not hurt just to put the non-serialized attribute on annotation on those. Really, you don't want to help me out with a suggestion there? And that will just make sure that they're not kind of going in here and messing something up. And so what I want to do with that tutorial level is, rather than a single person node, I'll just have array of person node. 3 people. That's a weird one. Other people for the tree. People for tree sounds like a good name if it's the people for the tree. Okay, and so what I can do here is just give that a summary. Will that give me a tooltip in here? One and 2. Parents of 0. 3, 4, 5, 6. Parents of 1 and 2. And so on. All right, any help on that? Okay, so I need to put something here to tell Unity to do a tooltip. Oops. Index 0. So that's 1 and 2. Summon up the tree. There we go. Is that going to do it? There we go. So now I've got the tooltip on there. And really the photos out of the tree, this is going to be in order list of positions for the empty slots. Actually, I should specify the order, hey? List of positions for the empty slot photos from people tree in the order they appear in. There. One more. There. Okay, so now I should be able to make a tree out of that, and I'll need to write some code to put the tree back together. So let me make a very simple tree here by adding, let's have 3 people. And let's do a, we'll have like known and known, so those 2 are in the slot and that one's out of the slot. That can be one of the parents. So we'll have a yellow and blue hair, not bald. We'll do medium length hair on both. And let's do, say, tan skin on both of the parents. And so then we expect the child to have green hair that is also straight and medium length, since the parents both have that. Skin color will match the parent, since there's no variation there. And that's all. So that should give us everything we need to put a tree back together. And interesting. This tutorial arrow is very simple. The reason I didn't store it as a vector 2 is in case I want to change something about the photo, like about the arrow, like have it in a different position, or if I had a few different arrow styles. But in the case of the photos, I think just a position will do. Just an array of those. I've just realized that's a capital P and the other's not. Let me make that a lowercase and see if that keeps my tree I just built. Otherwise, I'll just quickly build up a new one. So I need to add a tooltip on that, but let's just get it working. Then worry about that. Okay, so now we don't have that anymore. Yep, completely lost it. No problem. I'll actually set up, just because I think Unity will give me a bit of help with this. I'll set this one up. Let's do wavy hair, actually. So like that. Now and add a new one. I think it'll copy from the previous one, which is basically what I want, except we'll give that one blue hair. And then this one, that'll be an empty and yellow hair instead. All right. And I'm going to put this here and give it a position. Which is, I don't remember if I'm using the center of those trees, but what I probably want is in game. I've got my family tree manager and people. I've got some different bounds objects here describing where things should be, but I'm not sure that I have it for my positioning of the of those photos above the tree. So I think I might just this is actually the same thing down here as that, but I've just got it locked in the inspector. I've got an arrow positioned negative that, what have you. So I'll try and put the photo above the text. I'll start in the ballpark of it at least, maybe about 80 on the Y. I don't have code that will do that yet. I don't have anything that does that yet. So when I press the test button, it is doing page text updater. So this has just been shoved in here because I had something that was already doing stuff with text on the page. But loading a tutorial level will take more than just that. So I might need to have make an actual tutorial level loader that can talk to page text updater and can talk to probably just the game manager and tell it to load up a level. So just grab that game manager here. Game manager, there we are. All right, so it has jobs like resetting the level. When it resets the level, it does some things, including getting a tree of people and getting the family tree manager to display that. So level generator generates the level. So I think I might need to replace this line at some point with something else, because it might be using the level generator to use the algorithm to generate the level, or it might be just loading up a tutorial level. So, but a tutorial level will be more than just a people tree. It will be a bunch of other things. So, yeah, I think at this point we'd have something that's going to branch to either tutorial level or generated level. Yeah, look. So I think I can extract a method here for load and generate, or generate and load a level. There, so now I can just have a condition like just hard code that to false for now, and then just a tutorial level. Then we'll load that. Otherwise, we'll do that. And I'm actually doing that. So we can make that. Generate and load current level. So it's based on this current level property, which has the current level number. Load tutorial level. Yeah, we'll just have those in an array, so we'll have an index. So let's call that here. And let's just say index 0 for now. So I'm going to need a way to specify where the tutorial levels should be loaded. I'll worry about that later. I'm just checking that I have audio, I am streaming, etc. Nice to check every now and then, just in case I've been talking to nobody. Cool. How am I going for time? I've got about half an hour. I'll pop on my visual timer here so that this thing will go bring. Hopefully not too loud for other people who might be sleeping. So yeah, when that goes off, end of stream, because sleep is important. No matter how I feel about that internally, logically I know that it's important. Emotionally, it's nice to lie down to go to sleep, but there's so many projects to do, which is why I am here instead of in bed. Okay, so I've got tutorial level, name tutorial level 01. It's describing everything it needs to. I also, I think in page text updater, is that where I have got, yeah, I've got tutorial levels in there. So I'm just thinking about representing these. I could make a serialized object that has the tutorial levels in it. And yes, I will do that. So does that make sense? Yeah, I'll do that. So I'll just go to my tutorial system and just create a new script. Tutorial levels. Yep, that'll do. And what a tutorial levels will do is it's not a mono behavior, it's a scriptable object. And probably not using any of that stuff there or any of this stuff here. I was initially going to make this just an array of tutorial level. Do I need to serialize field those? I don't know. But I actually want to have a associate those with where they should actually appear. So I guess just an int in a tutorial level. Can you have the unboxed int type as the dictionary key? go. I think I should just be able to go new. Do I even need that, actually? Just going to have a quick look at my tutorial level and just see scriptable object, public. Yeah. And TL group. That whole thing there, because that gives me the asset menu. Ordering. Don't know why I chose level 2. Let's make this 3. All right. So if that has worked properly, then I forget I might need to do something with reloading Unity. There's something I was having an issue with last time for that. So now I should be able to create a tutorial levels. Let's call that default. And looks like all I get is tutorial levels. I don't actually get anything like these things. So what's the difference here? These are structs. And they're serializable. Whereas these are scriptable objects. Okay, maybe I need to just check whether that's even a reasonable thing to be trying to do. So if I am just want to know if scriptable object, let's have a quick look in the docs, see if they address this. So interesting. Can load them in the code from asset database. That's not something that I've needed to do. That would be a way to have my tutorial levels and other things loaded. Okay, the C# fields of a scriptable object are serialized exactly like fields on a monobehavior. Refer to script serialization for details. Classes that include big arrays or other potentially large data should be declared with the prefer binary serialization attribute. Okay, they use YAML internally, I guess. YAML will work better for the it's late, so I forgot words. Version control. So, yep. God, I think I didn't do this on stream last time, but I created this commit from what I was working on, and so all these changes should be related to what I'm doing right now. But I will deal with those when I've got something that's a bit more cohesive. Okay. So, is there anything here about what's included? No, there isn't. All right, well, since that didn't work like straight away, could it be because it's a dictionary? First thing I'm going to do is just try a basic array, just to rule out that it wasn't the dictionary doing that. But yeah, I just want the level number associated with the tutorial. Oh, okay, there we go. We've got tutorial levels, an array. So what I should have been searching then was to look at scriptable object. Okay, so Jiraiya was working on something. Unity won't serialize dictionary. Could use a list for keys and a list for values and throw them up. That's true. Take a look at the snippet below. So I also haven't kind of thought about how to track tutorial levels, whether to basically just have them instead of generated level, like not generate level 1 ever, and just have it so you start on the first tutorial level, or do I have it so that the tutorial level will display like just before some particular level number, and then when you finish the tutorial level, then it advances it to the next one. Yeah, I haven't thought that about that too much yet. Okay, someone's asking about it. I do this. Okay, so they basically make a thing that takes an index and a thing. Yep. Yep. Okay, I'm not going to keep reading that because it's unnecessary. Right. So, yep. Basically, what I need here is just a struct for tutorial level. With its position, so positioned tutorial level. That's the position in the level progression. So, yep. And that's just going to have I think everything in a struct. All right, is everything in a struct public by default? No. I remember looking that up recently. But Visual Studio tells me that it is private, so I must be thinking of something else. Oh yeah, interfaces have everything public by default because that's the whole point of an interface, to describe the public members of something. Okay, so now an array of these, if they were serializable, that is not a Z. Or is that? This is what we want. Probably system.serializable, but I've removed system from there. I did spell that right, didn't I? Oh, yeah, there we go. Let's put that in. Okay. So this, let's just test that actually works. Is that something that lets us say I'm going to put an S on there before it loses whatever I set up. And then I can say the first one is at level 1 and the second one's at, say, I don't know. Not sure where I'll put that second one. I could just do, I guess the simplest would be just do a set of tutorial levels. Oops. Oh my gosh. Okay. Third time's the charm. I'm not sure if that was the third or fourth time, but I will give it a try anyway. All right. Yes, that's better. So I'm not sure how I'll do those level numbers exactly. I had this other concept of having way to describe like ranges of levels with what's allowed in them. I might do that at some point. Just make it so that the earlier levels have a more limited set of values for the properties. Just to, or sort of forced to not have any duplicate appearance things, or sort of not have any bald hair initially. So how am I storing current level here? Current level 1. Just say this is 1, and we'll call this say 3, just to make it so I can be sure that it's working. Okay. Now where I'm up to with this, I'm up to running out of time. 12 minutes isn't a lot of time, but now I've got the tutorial levels. I might be able to just be able to just do that for starters. And yeah, I think the game settings, that's probably good place to put another serialized field of a tutorial levels. Like so pop that tutorial levels into the slot there. Right there. So that should be set up. And now I'll have my current level. And it starts at 1. So yeah, we've got a 1 indexed level. And this property is just a wrapper around that, I think. That way it will update the player profs when that changes. Anyway, this code down here is relevant. So basically what we want to do is I think we just want to iterate them. So what kind of loop do we want? For each of in different syntax in different languages, and I work with multiple. Okay, so what's the issue here? Oh, yeah, it's already used here. Let's that. All right. It's just got that array in there. And now what's the problem? Oh yeah. Let's just put var there. Okay. Yep, and the current level is equal to tutorial level dot level number. Really, I want to break out of this loop at that point. And then that's the, if there wasn't a tutorial level, then we fall back on this current level. So we don't want an index on that. We actually want the tutorial level. Call it level. Tutorial level dot level. So, and yeah, so that's just replacing the generated level with the other one. Not the most performant thing, iterating through that every time. So I could put it into a dictionary or something, but it's not going to be enough of them for it to matter. And it's only happening every now and then when someone finishes a level. And then we probably want to return. Yeah. So that'll break out of not only the loop, but also the whole level, the whole function or method. So that's good. So now we just want to load up that level. So I think we're going to go, let's do the same as the one below. The first one of those. So yeah, I'll need to put that tree back together. Yeah. So that's just going to be the first person in the tree. But anyway, we'll basically, so this is not handling anything there. What was that noise? I heard an interesting noise, which I think played on the stream as well. And I suspect that was something that's showing up on a doc that I have not looked at for a while. So, well, I think someone did something such as subscribing or what have you. So thank you, whoever that was, for whatever that was. Even though I have not learned my streaming software well enough to remember where it even is. It's got to be on a doc here somewhere. Stream information, perhaps? That might have it. No, that's the updating the name of it. Oh well, cool noise, whatever it was. Could have sworn I would have a sure I used to have a doc or something that had a set of events that happened. Oh well, I'll figure it out later. Just let me know in chat if you know what it was. And I haven't 100% confirmed that the chat from YouTube is definitely working. So if it doesn't, then feel free to hop over to Twitch and try the chat there because I'm pretty sure that works. Anyway, I better get this finished because I'm running out of time. All right, so I need to put that tree back together and then I'm basically going to do this to the tree. So I know what I want to do, but how to do it. Let's just do a for instead of for loop. And length is going to be my people for tree length. And that's basically just so I can refer to the others in the tree. So how am I going to do this? So basically need to get, I don't need to do anything for 0 directly, but if I get to 1 or 2, I need to set as parents of 0, and then 3 and 4 parents of 1, 5 and 6, parents of 2. So it's almost like every 2 steps up the tree, every 2 steps through the array, it's taking 1 step through the array for parents. So maybe that'll work. Let's try it. So so variables, we don't need to skip 0 that way. Okay, we'll start at 1. And for 1, we want 0. This is just to sort of check my reasoning there. For 2, we want 0. And then 3, we want 1. And 4, we want 1. So that's looking very simple. Okay, so two divided by 2 is 1, so we're not just going to be able to do divided by 2. I think we want I plus 1 divided by 2, and this is integer division, so it'll round down. So that'll be 2 divided by, still going to give 1. 2 divided by 2 and 3 divided by 2 will both give 1 in integer division. And then we just need to subtract 1 from that to get the index we want. So that might work. And let's just do pretend. Just debug log. Here we'll do I and child index for each step of the way, and then I'll write that code later. Yep, that seems good. I'm just going to comment that out so it doesn't actually happen. And we should already be calling this load tutorial level. And of course, I also need to make a call to the page canvas, the page text updater. Go. So I might still make a separate tutorial level thingy that handles all the bits that are handled by other things, but I'll pop it in the game manager for now. Sometimes the game manager sort of swells up a bit with some extra code, sort of in a pregnant way, and then a new baby other class is born when you refactor it. So where am I up to here? I'm basically trying to load up the first tutorial level, which should happen automatically if we're on level 1. So when I hit this play the game button. If I've done everything right. That's the test button, that's not the other button. Okay, so I didn't see anything and that's fine. Okay, for index 1 we got 0, and for index 2 we got 0. It's not a big enough tree to test it beyond that. But that's okay, I'll test that out properly when we get to a bigger tree. So yeah, basically equivalent of testing that, pressing that test button will be what happens. There, I'll leave that debug log in. We can test it out later, but essentially need to just, for every index other than the first one, we need to get the child, excuse me, jeez. And it's an advantage of early morning streams. I haven't had any breakfast or anything yet, so there's not much going on in the old digestive system. Okay, so that's the child, and aha. So is it going to be parent 1 or parent 2? Good question. So I've got something else to compute, and that's probably just going to be a similar thing but with a modulo. So I'll actually duplicate that line. The was for the screen, the key shortcut. Keep trying to use the VS Code ones. So this is going to be parent. It's called parent 1 and parent 2, so let's generate an actual 1 or 2. So I'll just make it a modulo like that. So so index number 1 will be parent 1 here. We'll give a 1 remainder without the +1. With the +1, it will give a 0 remainder. And I think that's what I want. Yeah, so then I'll do a +1. So don't strictly need to do that. I could use 0 or 1. But new parent now is equal to 1. We'll do child.parent1 is equal to the parent you nearly got it. It's actually I. Okay. Let's see if it can figure out. Nope. There might be a more concise way to do that. Put it in a ternary or something, but I guess I don't need these in blocks. And then I can just have a nice little join lines up. Yeah, that looks better. So basically setting that as appropriate. So now that tree, everything should be right. in the level. We've built the tree up by getting these nodes. Is that right? What type are these? Yeah, they're person nodes. So that's fine. It's working as it should. So I've put the tree back together now. And yeah, that first index should be right. And we should be able to display that. And then probably another thing of I'm just going to pop that there as a little reminder. Okay, so now when we run that, we should actually get the specified tree. And I think our tree display assumes a certain I don't remember if the tree display requires each generation to be full for it to work properly. I think it might be fine without. I can test it out. Yeah, so there we go. That's different from a regular one because the regular ones have this side empty. And that would go with this, and this would be positioned somewhere. That's the next thing to do. I have gone over time a little bit. It's a shame I didn't quite get the positioning working, but and tie it all together. But I have got that being displayed, so that's nice. And I wonder if I finish this level now, there's nothing to actually stop that. I'll have to make sure that gets cleared out at the end of the level. Let me put that here. I haven't actually got the text done yet. I've got hard-coded trees with all of those things. So yeah, all done. Nice. And I haven't designed all of them yet. But yeah, I also need to position photos. Yeah. Clear text and arrows on complete level. Yeah. Well, what you just heard just then, I don't know if it's very loud on stream there. I mean, I purposely haven't got it too loud, but that's the janky audio loop where I have code that restarts it, but its timing is out by a little for whatever reason. But I think if I finish this level, which I'm guessing from the skin color that this goes here, which means that person must have some straight hair genetics, even though they don't have hair. Okay, index out of range exception. That has got to be probably related to this tutorial level. Having no people for the tree. So that has caused it to crash. So if I had one person, let's do some green, curly, long hair with brown skin and empty slot. That would work. there would be no parent tree, but that would work. So now if I hit the next level button again, I wonder if that will now try it again and have it work. It's sort of a bit broken because I think that my level generation assumes that there's going to be more than one generation. Overloading the word generation there. So let's give that person a parent who has identical traits, and then you just have to position both of them. Let's see. That's an interesting one. Let me try it with 3 and see if it's just like in a broken state and therefore failing for that reason, or something else. Let's say that's known. You need to position the parents. Okay. So we've ended up with a bit of a few things that are kind of sitting around because it got broken. And this test button's always just doing this level and never cleaning it up. But I think the real tree is just here. And that stuff's not getting cleaned up because I think they were just never actually positioned into the right place. Yeah. These are the connections that make up this tree with the slots nested under them, and these slots here were left over. I think that's now everything for that level. Wait, was this person? That person doesn't belong, I think, because they weren't in the right area. So I'm not sure where they are. I got stuff in the way, I can't click on them. So maybe if I put them down there. Now that's going on there. Anyway, they'll get cleaned up anyway when I stop the game. But I might have a quick little go of it. What have we got here? I got some light skin. This person must be somewhere at the top because there's nobody else who has light enough skin to be their parent. And then I guess they're probably go like this. No, you wouldn't have longer hair from bald. So I guess that's going to be like that. And we've got straight hair, so straight hair. There we are. Figured it out. Yeah, this is just our little mascot helper person who's accidentally here. Well, that worked really well. I'm kind of tempted to keep going for a little bit and get a bow on this at this point. And yeah, I think generating level does seem to fail if there are not just the right number of people for a generation. But I can work with that for now, and I can fix it if it bothers me too much later. So what I'm not doing is positioning the photos, and I'm also not doing the text. So why don't I move that to do to here after those photos? Doesn't really matter where this happens, but what I want to do here is a call to that page text updater. Oh, good, it's a singleton, so I can just call it from here. And what do I want to call on that again? we've got test tutorial level, but that's not going to be it. So given an index, it is grabbing that. So I think I just want to pass in tutorial level there. And don't need that. And then just doing those and those. This is not page text, but the tutorial arrows does live on that page canvas. So I think I'll keep this in here. I was just about to move it out of here, but since it's being positioned in here, then I think that's managing them just on that page canvas. I think that's fine. I'll keep it there. I do need this to be able to happen. That's a thing. So I'll just pull that out into a method. And this is that, because I want that public to call when it's going to a new level. So we shouldn't need to clear any tutorial text when we're going to the tutorial level. So in the game manager, when we report level finished, we transition to level. And save that, but then we have a show victory. So it's only when the victory has completed. So I think it's probably just when reset level is called. Yeah, that's when we're clearing that stuff. So I'll do the same thing with this page text updater instance clear tutorial text. There's text and arrows, but the arrows are kind of related. So now we can actually have that. Right now it's called test tutorial level, but I think I'll rename that to be show tutorial level text. So that's going to do the text and arrows. And hopefully they're being cleared. Whenever you go generate a new level, whether it's a tutorial or not. So I really just need to position those photos. So I think I want to iterate these things. So there we go. Did I do of instead of in? I did. That's TypeScript syntax, I believe. Could be something else. Oh yeah, we're meant to have for each. Okie dokie. So now we've got a position which should be a vector 2. So that's interesting. But can we just use explicitly typed? So that's a vector 2. And I just want to iterate through those and actually need to find the I need to find all the empty slots. Do we have a filter? Something? Well, a cheap little way I can do this is actually I can't. I have to start at index 0. So basically what I might do is get the people for tree. And put them into a new structure. Just actually need to make sure sorry about the bump there. Need to find out what I've got. So I'll need to actually get to the photo, the relevant photo. And what I'll actually end up with in generated level is not quite matching. So I'll test that other code that I've got there too. I don't think I need that test button anymore. So what level is this? 5. I need to reset my level. Done. Okay. So now when I hit this, I've got a tutorial level. If I complete it, now I'll go next. Got a regular level. I think these go like that. Now I've got the tutorial level. There we go, and it's exactly that one I specified. Doesn't matter where these go. Just was having fun swapping those around. So cool. The tutorial system is working quite nicely. But I should have gone back. Let's there we go. Let's set that to 1, not 14. Manually set that to 1. Oh, that actually won't work, will it? Well, let's just reset. Okay. All right. So this is what I wanted to mention. What I have here is the connections representing the tree. And that's got some lines in there. So we've got this slot. Nested in those slots, we have person. That's the photo that's in the slot. That's the person in that slot. And this one doesn't have one. Oh, cool. Zoe Lily 1 is now following. That's what I missed before. I looked in the wrong place. I was looking all over the place for what was making the cool noise. So that must have been someone else. I'll have to go back and look. Hi. Ah, you're lucky. I was going to finish up, but I really wanted to get this thing wrapped up. So you get a few minutes of watching the tutorial system get finished out. So yeah, each of these slots have the person in them, but this, yeah, it's going all right. I'd meant to finish this game up a few months ago, but They take as long as they take. Yeah, so basically I've got people here and that's got that person in it. And I think they should possibly appear in order. But I might need to have a way of feeding in the positions in here rather than do it after the fact. But I think maybe I'll just do it in a hacky way. And I will put this in Family Tree Manager, but basically I might actually be shuffling those. It's called People Container, I think. So I want to do a new method that doesn't exist yet, which is set photo positions, and I'll give it those positions. So it turns out I'm not doing it as hacky as I thought, because I don't need to. So that doesn't exist yet. We'll make it exist. And I'll just grab that code there to bring over, generate that method. And does F12 take us there? Yes, it does. And so make that public. Don't need to mess around with internal or not. Just shove that code in there that I had so that I don't lose it when I copy this whole thing, and just put it somewhere that makes a bit more sense. So that's what we're calling, I believe, from Game Manager. Yep. All right, so what's happening here? We're shuffling the people. So I think that's actually shuffling them. People to shuffle. So that is a list representing all the people. As photos. So then we shuffle, we position them. So we're basically getting everyone put into a random position within a particular range that we've got specified, and starting them in a random height in the stack, and set sibling index. So that's setting the position within that container. So they are ending up in that container in a shuffled order. So that could be a problem because we want these in very specific positions. Then we're getting the slots and connections. So I might actually not define this. But instead have an optional parameter on here. So null by default. And then we won't do the shuffling or the random positioning unless we if that has a value. So basically here, photo positions is not equal to null. Then we'll do this and this. Because that's still random, isn't it? Yeah, random positions. Just grab that. So I'll use that. And I'll pull this out into another method at some point, but not yet. And I'll grab my for each from before, bring that up here. So get rid of that, and I'll fix it over in the other place later. Okay. So shuffle people, position shuffle people. That's working on people to shuffle. So I'm just not shuffling them. That's all. Okay, so that's just photo positions. So what's people to shuffle? Let me just look up an index of that. Yes, we'll need to do a regular for loop. Oh wait, there's a helper for that. Convert to for. So the indices should be matching up, I think. Right, that is not the right key shortcut. So now we've got our person and our position. And the Z position we need to still do stuff with. We can put the X and Y. It's a bit verbose, so just rename that to pos. Using the correct key shortcut this time. Okay, so Z position on this is start Z position plus this thingy. And that's I. And also shouldn't really matter, but then we'll get that start Z just here. Okay, something to clean up. Just realized. Okay. And interesting. I might have accidentally brought in a library that makes the random be ambiguous. So yeah. So this is an ambiguous reference, and so that means we must have. It's interesting. I don't know why that is in there. But this using system is new. If I get rid of that that'll fix the random thing. And I don't know if I was actually needing that for anything here. Maybe I was, but now I'm not. So yeah, that music is getting a little irritating. Let me just stop that there. Okay, so that should now be doing that. I just need a safety net. This only if is just not equal to null, and person is also not equal to null, then we'll do that. And then we just pull that out to a method. Position photos. Photo positions, position photos. Exactly. Let's call it exact. Now, if the wrong number of positions are specified, we might end up with some photos that are not in the right place, but I won't deal with that right now. That's something that I should be able to just deal with in how I specify the tutorial levels. Hopefully that's all in order. Oh, now I just need to fix up in Game Manager here. I'm not doing that. I'll give it this optional argument, which will cause it to use that alternative. And this is for tutorial level, yes. And I'll get rid of that debug log. I don't need that anymore, I think. That all seems to be working. Okay. And then I really must go to bed because I'm way over time. And I need sleep. Until I can replace all of this with robot parts, of course. Now, this appears to have worked. The whole thing loaded. Oh, and was that positioned in a particular place? I did not take note. I can do a reset, and here's level 1, just here. So negative 1280. So let's just see where it lands. I'll just do a reset and play. Okay, it's just there. And do another reset. And do that again, and now it's over here. So it seems like it's being randomized, which is not what I'm looking for. Let's find that person in the game here. There's the person. And these numbers are way out from whatever that was. And the fact that they're also random tells me something's not happening right. So let me just trace through what's happening. So in the game manager, we'll have reset level being called, clears out everything, and then if it is a tutorial level, it will do that. That will put the tree back together, and then just pull that index 0 out as the tree, and display, giving it the tree and whatever photo positions are in there. And then it will call that. So yeah, it should just be calling this load tutorial level. Generate and load current level is doing basically similar thing, but not doing some of the tutorial level things and getting the tree a different way. So display people tree should be where all the action is. Now we should be hitting this not equal to null. Let me just add a bit of logging in here. So let's do photo positions. Equals null, just to see how that's coming out, and also just output photo positions to string, whatever that looks like, and then log for. Oh, okay, yeah, found the problem. It should be the other way around. If it is null, then we want to shuffle. Otherwise, we want to do that. Okay, so that should fix it. But I also have that being output, just in case. So I should have just looked at the code before I started putting the logging in. Oh, one day I'll learn these lessons. One of these years, one of these decades. Okay, so let's take a look. Yes, it's just outputting it as .vector2. Okay, now it's up there, which is interesting. Let me click on that. And what we've got is -12 for the X and 80 for the Y. So that is exactly what I have in here. So why don't I might get this tutorial level actually working properly. So I basically want this one here, the one with blue hair, to be the empty slot and the other one to be the known, because that's where I've got this arrow, and I want this to go here like that. So I want about -28, +45. 45 on Y. Okay, that's where I want that. Now the text, those are a little bit trickier because their position is like a little offset from what it shows here. So at -16, positive about 40. But that's coming from -13, so 16.6 to 13.5. 43.3 goes to 39.8. So I might just do whole amounts like 6. So increase this by 6. Increase this by 16. It's pretty good. So let's increase that by 16. 13.5 plus 16 equals 3.5. Okay. And now this one. I want to put that up a bit higher. So it's on 39 right now. Let's add, say 5, make it 44. That's 6. add 6. So that'll be 49.3. That. There. So I think that is a complete definition for the first tutorial level. So that's fantastic. So now, let me try reset that level. And there we are. That worked. I move this up a smidge too. Just because it's sort of touching the arrow. I don't want it to not be. Okay. Yeah, that's good enough. Now, before I load up that next tutorial level, let me just unlock that inspector and get level 2. Now lock level 2 in there. And what do I actually want level 2 to, tutorial level 2 to do? Actually, level 2 should be tutorial level 2. So that should be index number 2. And then what I can have here is getting distracted by these, but we'll want one parent and one child. So I think I want at this point, the child should have green hair. And be in an empty slot. And then the first parent will be an empty slot as well, and then the other one will be known. And I'll do hair colors here. So I'll do blue hair and yellow hair for the parents. And then I'm going to want some text that says, oh no, my photos have slipped out. Next up. And then we basically want to have like an explanation with each photo. Decided which one I'm doing explanation on. Okay, so we've got a green hair and a yellow hair. So the yellow hair is the parent. So for the parent, basically say this can be the child. You don't get yellow hair. There's blue hair. And then the child, you go, yellow and blue hair together. Next to my green hair. This must be the child. So do that, and then have a couple of arrows. Don't know where those will be positioned, so I'll figure that out. probably somewhere on the negative axis. And for the y, let's have 1 at 0, 1 at, say, 40 to start with. And text, I think we're like there. So this one's possibly in about the right place. This one probably too. This needs to go sort of up the top. I'll figure out those positions and dimensions. So that's up high. That's the lower than it needs to be. Okay, so that's a start. And then positions. We need to position 2 of them. And I'm just going to leave those as 0 because I know I can set them exactly. Okay, let's see that level number 2. I'm going to need to do a reset actually to get level 2 to generate again. So let's play tutorial 1. And next level is tutorial 2. Okay, so we're somewhere. That's probably almost okay. But we can have it a bit wider. Like, let's go that width. What is that? 62. And it doesn't need to be higher than 11. So, just to keep it neat. And then position-wise, I think this just needs to be a lot less negative. Let's add 10. Add 11. Add 4 more, so yeah, about add 15 to this position. So it comes out as 9. And that's fine. Okay, so photos. So I think we basically want this one to go with that arrow, but that arrow needs to move up. And this one to go with this arrow, so it'll be about there. So the green one's the first one. So that's arrows, here's the photos. They're a bit clunky here, but I'll be able to cobble together some tutorial levels without it taking too long. Right, so we got negative 26 or so, and about 15. And then the other one is we have the yellow one selected. Don't know. Is that the one I wanted to do? No. Just put that here instead. Oh, could have just dragged those around. Oh well. There we go. Got the green person. Yep. Negative 32, positive 43.5. Let's call it 44 for the moment. So I've got some positions. Now this text is moving around somewhat. So for this one, let's make that a little narrower. Give myself a little more room to work with over here. Okay, so oops, I have put those in the wrong place as well. There. Move the other one up a little bit. I don't know how much a little bit is. Doesn't. 56 to where's the there it is. The dragging. I'll put it there. So it's gone from 56 to 60, so it's up by 4. I'm pretty sure that's wrong. Let's just put 60 and it's up by 3, but I forget which direction. Let's put 57. And hope that that's right. And then, okay, this one. Get a bit wider so that it can. Fit that. Probably should lock in a font, but I guess if I change font for polish, then so be it. Okay, so this is the second one. We've got 62 and about 15. Position wise, this one's ended up at about 2, about 42. I'll tweak that. Now that arrow. Okay, these are a bit clunky, but I've got a few buttons that make them do stuff, which is good enough to get the job done. And oh yeah, that's right. I don't need that point arrow at 0 anymore. So you just put that there. Move the arrow to the transform. For some reason, it's got a pivot in the center, which it's not supposed to do, but pretty sure the prefab doesn't have center pivot, but all right, that should be okay. I'll just put it a bit that way. Like this. There we are. So that's position for the first arrow. Yeah. There we go. That arrow is done. although I think I'll have to adjust its offset a little. Okay, so this one, I'll put this here. Okay. Yep, that's right. Need to fix up something in that prefab or my code, whatever's causing the problem. That will probably do there. Position. I guess up a little bit. Look. More like it's pointing to it. And now grab those into here. Got about negative 0.9. Okay. So that does that. And then I've got this text here to do. So just get that moved around to here. Those need to be swapped to the opposite ways. So hopefully nobody's there pulling their hair out with those being wrong. I will fix them. Do I want that to be 2? Yeah. Do 2 lines like that. About there. Dimensions. Oh. I haven't changed the actual dimensions of the text. Change the dimensions of the rect transform on the object that has the text on it. So hopefully the other things were already right. Nope, they went. Okay, so we're at about 63 and about 12 for height. Yeah, that could do it. Let's just. Oh, I should have been in bed by now. Let's just do that level and next level. And yeah, it's basically working. And apparently I got it right, even though I had these in the wrong place before. So those arrows are clearly offset from where they should have been. And the text is as well, somewhat. So I'll just fix that up. So this text, mainly the exposition, negative 18. Let's bring that up to negative 15. So adding 3. Let's add 4. And try adding 4 onto this. Negative 1 becomes positive 3. I think that's good. So we're adding 4 onto these x's. Gives us 6 here. And negative 11 there. All right. Now, I think I need to move all the tutorial texts up by a bit. Let's get this one moved up. Let's try 3 higher. 3 higher seems good. So let's just increase all these by 3. There we go. Okay, and the arrows. How much do they need to get moved by? Interesting. The transform for the arrows is all the same place because they don't draw the line based on their transform. They draw it based on a set of positions. See, don't want to resize that. What I want to do is take a careful look at what that line's. I think that's the position that it's at, roughly. Just press this button to check how close I am. Yeah, basically there. So our position is at about negative 19.9, positive 20.2. But the arrow here it says 16.6, so it's putting it, whatever I put in, it's ending up 3.3 too low. So I should subtract 3.3 and make it 13.3 for that height, and increase that too, so that becomes negative 5.2. Now, this one says 23.8 for the Y position, and it's actually at 20.2. So whatever number I had here has been reduced by 3.6. So I want to increase by 3.6. And increase this one by 3.6, which will be 2.7. I think. Something like that. All right, let's get this level going again. So reset. And let's finish level 1. Well, sort of good, except for this text is too high up. That's this one. It's at y equals 0. And it should be at well, that says 0, but we're getting negative 3.5. Is that right? That's the position? Yeah. So basically it's 3.5 lower than what I've asked for, but what I should have asked for was for it to be about here at, say, negative 9. And then it's going to be 3.5 lower than that. I want to say negative 9.5. That way I can just say negative 6 and call it a day. We'll call it a night, rather, after one more quick test. Okay. Level 1 tutorial. Cool. I'm going to update level 1 text. I'm going to add a new one. No, right. There we go. possibly should make a little button that'll redo the level generation. I'm not sure if it'll work with the new changes I've made, but okay, that's all looking a bit better. This photo could use moving across a bit. By how much? It's going from -35. I think I want it here at -31, so increase position by, oh, I just set it to exactly 31. That's right, these are easier to position than those other elements. I possibly should just put the containers that they go into slightly offset positions so that they counteract the thing. I might try that actually. Let's stop this. Now I've got this page canvas and it has a very particular position here, which is to get it lined up with the page. But these tutorial texts, seem to be at, is that a relative position 0? Or what? I don't need this button anymore, but let me just reset that. Okay, so that's reset to default. And so that little circle tells me that's where page canvas is positioned. And the button is positioned in exactly the same place, even though it's 0. So if I were to, like that HUD canvas, dialogues, they have wacky positions, don't they? They all have. UI manager is at 0, so if I make a new canvas temporarily to put that on, call it canvas, make it like the page canvas here, where it's got world space. This is kind of like finishing off the tutorial system, making it so that I can get those things positioned more accurately without so much fiddling around. So we'll paste that in there. Now we've got this canvas here for test purposes. And it's on the UI manager. Just, yeah, that's fine actually. But it's got this position here. So can I reset that? There we go. So now what I want to do is take, there's method to all of this. I want to take that button here, which is at 0, 0, move it onto this canvas here. Yes, it has got a particular position there. Reset that. That'll actually center it on the real origin, and then pop it back in here, and that gives us that nice position here. Next up, my position. So basically, the tutorial texts, I want them to have that negative position, and same with the tutorial arrows. So I'll just do that and reset those transforms, and then that back there, and get rid of this test button because it's not doing stuff anymore. And this canvas is also not needed. And now they might actually show up where I've told them to, which is going to break everything I just did. So, oh well, that will be part of the testing of those positions. Current level is 2, so let me just reset my level back to 1 and play. That didn't used to be like that because I've just done that. But positions that I asked for in tutorial level 01. Okay, 3.5, 49.3. That's showing up exactly as that. So that's wonderful now. That's much better. Big improvement. What am I clicking on here? I'm trying to get this text, and instead I'm grabbing the HUD canvas. So let me just click on it like that. I think it looks better just, yeah. And I think that's a bit verbose, but it. Back. Okay, so that's the text. Let's set that in here. Yeah. And then there we go. So that's the text. This is the text. 7.7. 51.8. 58.36 or something. And 16.65, let's say. Okay. That's nice. Finish that level. Feels a bit weird without that big button down there now. It's also kind of a bit positioned a bit high on the page. But that's okay. These seem all over the place. Yeah. Okay, so just grab that second level in here again. Okay, that was, and that first text, so okay, and that, yes, and I think everything else in here looks sort of okay. Maybe the arrows could do with moving across a bit. So got something now at 13.6 that should be at 10.8. I mean, negative 13 plus 6, that should be negative 10.8. Arrows. hold on a minute. So if I did that right, then I should just be able to zoom in so I can get a bit better. Hit that button, check, move it where I want it, and there, that should be my position. Collapse that and that so I don't get confused. So hopefully that will work. This one and get it more like, not sure. I don't know what will look best. It's not very flexible, and I don't have any rotations being stored for these at the moment. It might be good to have rotations, because then, yeah, if I could rotate it different amounts, that would actually help, but too complicated. It's going to slow the whole thing down, and I do just need this game wrapped up. Okay, so I've got my position here. Just copy paste. It's easier than looking at numbers and typing them. Okay, so that should all be great. Let me do a reset. Okay. So, got that. Next level. Aha! Yeah, that's nice. I can make tutorial levels now. Oh, there we go, this one. It's just putting what I just learned in that tutorial to work. All right. So time to stop that, and I have a fully working tutorial system. Now I just need to actually go through and make the set of tutorial levels properly. So that's wonderful. It was getting a little tedious, so just make sure everything's saved here. And everything here. And I've definitely done tree photo positions. So I've done that, and I've done that, and I've done that. So is the tutorial system complete? I think designing the tutorial levels is not part of the actual system. And just put that on next. So I'm going to say the tutorial system is all done and wrapped up. I'll just make a commit about that so that we have a save point. So I've done some changes to the tutorial level assets and made an asset for the list of tutorial levels. Then if I wanted to swap that out for a different list of tutorial levels, I could easily. But the main reason to have that is that then if I create a tutorial level asset and drag it in to here during gameplay, it's not going to be reset when I stop the game. So that should just make it easier to build up those levels. Meta file associated with that new one. Okay, I've made some changes to some positions and a bit of stuff like that, and deleted a arrow prefab instance that I wasn't using, and a other thing that I also wasn't using, the big button. Family tree manager is now updated a bit. I can see a debug log here that I don't want to keep. So let's have a look at that. We've got, are those commented out, debug logs? Or was it still there, debug log? Still there. So I've got a few things removed. That's my debug log here that I don't need. And don't need all this extra white space in here. Just see, this else doesn't really need to be a separate block there. Just do it like that. I don't think that comment is adding anything. Yep. Okay. That's good enough for that. Cool. So yeah, when I'm making a commit, that's my chance to do a little self-code review, make sure that I'm not committing anything to the repository that is hard to maintain. And all of that looks fine. Game Manager now has tutorial levels in there. This could use extracting to its own thing, but I'm not going to do that today. Tonight, rather. It'll be tomorrow if I'm not careful. That's just renamed. And yeah, still good to move that to a utility sometime. Made that serializable. Let's just move from there to there. Yeah, a bit of serialization related stuff. Don't need all that nonsense in there. Tutorial level. What was that? Tutorial system, tutorial level.cs. That's tutorial levels. So here we are. Oh wait, or do I need all that? Yeah, this isn't doing anything. It's that tooltip that's doing it. We got text elements, position, text and size. Yep, got that. Don't need that really. It's not really giving us any new information. Yeah, we did that. So maybe just a little tooltip here as well to I just had that text and I deleted it, didn't I? Anyway, correlate to empty slots in people for tree. Okay. Should be good. Needs custom property drawer. Does it though? Question mark for that. Okay. That's cleaned up. That's fine. Is it using system? Visual Studio thinks it is. Okay, that's all good. So it's finishing the tutorial system. Yep, that looks good. Okay, all done. I am going to end the stream there and go and get some sleep. And thank you very much for watching and for the new followers. It was cool to hear some interesting noises from Stream Elements. And yeah, I'll be on again on the weekend. Should be able to stick closer to the planned time on the weekend. So fingers crossed for that. All right, I'll see you next time.